Well, folks, the Polaris RZR Pro R is out. If for some reason you didn't already know, it is new in a lot of ways, and not only that, they proved me wrong. There's still a belt. It was just too good to be true. But Polaris did make some significant changes aside from the transmission, which we've been waiting on for forever. So I'm going to be skipping over some of the new stuff on this side-by-side. And by the way, these clips are from the Polaris YouTube channel. But I gotta start this off by mentioning this beefy motor they put in this side-by-side. It is the largest factory side-by-side engine on the market. They call this monster the ProStar Fury 2.0 with 2 liters, which, hang on, let's do the math real quick. How many cc's is a 2-liter engine? That is about 2,000 cc's, which according to the spec sheet, it's more like 1996, I think, which is insane, but it's also a 4-cylinder engine with 16 valves and 225 horsepower, which is also the most powerful stock engine in any side-by-side. But it tops out at 90 miles per hour according to Polaris, which they claim makes it the fastest RZR produced. And keep in mind, this motor does not have a turbo in it, so if it did, it would be absolutely insane. But another thing is, along with Polaris putting this big heavy motor in there, they also beefed up the chassis and the cage and a lot of other stuff, so even though it's got this extra horsepower, it may not be as quick from a takeoff or for drag racing, even though it may top out at 90 eventually. With that being said, let's go over some of these dimensions, with the 2-seater model having a 104.5 inch wheelbase and 74 inches wide. Time for people to widen their trails back out because this is wider than a Jeep Wrangler. They just get bigger and bigger. It does have 16 inches of ground clearance, if that means anything at this point. It's also got 32-inch Maxxis Rampage Furies on 15-inch wheels. With these tires, I haven't heard a whole lot about, so I'm not for sure how good they are based on reputation. But I'm sure the Facebook forums will tell us all about it before too long. With suspension, there's this thing called Dynamics DV. What DV means, I don't know. But according to Polaris, it monitors input between driver and machine over 200 times a second. And that's adjusting the Fox Live Valve X2 shocks, which I'm pretty excited to check out. They also have customizable suspension settings. You have 4 settings to choose from: Baja, Rock, Track, and Comfort. There is one more. It's my personal favorite. Polaris refers to it as the
on-wheel oh shit button.
Yup, if you run into something unexpected, you just hold this button down and it adjusts all 4 shocks to full firm until you let off of it. I think it's a pretty cool feature. This RZR has a lot of fancy electronics in it, including the 7-inch touchscreen on the premium and ultimate models, including the ride command feature, which is pretty cool, and GPS navigation. There's other videos on that if you want to look further into it. There is a feature on the 4-seaters that I thought was really cool, and that's the back seats folding down if you're not using them, and Polaris says this gets you up to 16 cubic feet of room. So all this stuff, 4-cylinder motors, all these electronics, 74-inch width, and they're still having this. They're always talking about how they're improving the system, but they won't at least try to just not have the system at all for once. I don't know, I just want to see a brand other than Honda and Yamaha make a side-by-side that's not belt-driven. Oh, and there's one more thing. Do all these manufacturers test drive their new side-by-sides in the same exact place for videos? That's kind of a random thought, but I feel like they're always tested in the same place every time a new side-by-side comes out. I don't know. To close this off, I'll make it short and sweet. The base model's $32,000. The ultimate 4-seater model is $42,000. Don't think anybody in our crew is going to be getting one anytime soon, but we'll see. That's about all I really got to say about this new RZR. Let us know what y'all think of it in the comments, and we'll let Cowboy close it.
And lastly, keep sending it.